What's going on, guys? It's Kyle Carroll from MyMMAnews.com and Carroll's Corner MMA Podcast. Today I'm joined by Daniel Rodriguez, the ACC Bantamweight champion, who's also just signed a professional contract for CFFC. Dan, thanks for joining me.
Well, thanks for having me, man.
So tell us a little bit about your journey as an amateur MMA fighter, and now you're finally signed that pro contract and signed to fight with CFFC.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I've been training about 9 years now, fighting for the last 4 or 5. Yeah, it's been a pretty long journey, and excited to make this debut.
And last time I spoke to you was right after your fight. You were speaking about how your coaches will make the decision for you to go pro. What was the discussion like with your coaches when you guys made the decision to turn pro?
There's actually no discussion at all. I walked into the gym and actually it was a text message, and you let me know when I was fighting, where I was fighting, and that's pretty much it.
How excited are you to be fighting a pro fight, your first pro fight, on a level like CFFC? That's a pretty big organization in the region. Tell us who you're fighting and how you feel about this.
The guy I'm fighting, I don't know too much about, but I'm super excited to make this debut, especially with CFFC. I know they send a lot of guys to the UFC, and that's the goal. So I'm super excited to fight for CFFC.
And it's a
the guy, it really doesn't matter.
Okay. And it's a bantamweight fight, correct?
Yeah, 135.
Awesome. And what have you learned as an amateur that you can take into being a pro, making this transition?
A little bit of everything. Mainly patience and things not going your way, staying calm, and that's it, a little bit of everything.
Well, 2 fights ago against Carlos Rodriguez, you definitely showed patience and adversity and fought through both of them. You suffered a broken jaw in that fight and still managed to get a submission with 1 second left in the fight. To be honest, I had you losing on the scorecards, and then you pull off that insane armbar to finish him. When you're in trouble like that and you're feeling pain because your jaw's broken, what's going through your mind just to get that win?
Just to keep attacking any which way I can. I was on bottom there, so pretty much only had submissions and sweeps. Not a lot of time left, so I wasn't looking for any sweeps. Just pretty much to keep attacking. I was hurt. I knew I was in a bad spot, but you can always do something, So it was just keep going until the fight was over.
Did you know the time was kind of running out and you had to get something done at that moment?
I heard the 10-second things that they do, but I didn't know, there was 1 second left. I heard that. That's all I really remember.
Yeah, to be honest, that was one of the most remarkable third rounds I've ever watched. I have it on YouTube for those who want to watch it at Giblitz77. That's JIBLITZ 77. And I'll also post a link in this description for this video if people want to watch it. One of the most remarkable third rounds I've ever seen, whether it's professional or amateur. It was pretty impressive. So tell us a little bit about your training now as a professional. Does anything change? I know that you guys at the Jungle Gym, you pretty much train like you're pros, but will anything change for you now in your training?
Not much has changed. I think just the time that I invest into it, that's pretty much the only thing that changed. But the formula is the same, just more time into it. That's pretty much it.
Okay. So
everything I did before, just make sure times 10.
Awesome. So you're talking about putting more time in. What kind of hours are you putting in right now into the gym and as an amateur? Because as an amateur, you were pretty dominant, going, I believe it was 8-1 as an amateur.
Yes, 8-1. I get there like around 6:30, leave about 9:30, 10-ish. Today I left a little early just to do the interview with you. And before, as an amateur, I'll come in 7 o'clock, 7:15. Not really pay too much time to what time I was arriving, but now it's like, be there 6:30, 6 o'clock. It's the earliest I can get there. I get out of work at 4, so time I get home, eat a little something, get to the gym, try to get there about 6:30.
Awesome. And what do you do for work? What are you doing that pays the bills and pays for your camps and everything?
Well, hopefully soon I'll just be fighting to pay the bills. But right now I'm a mechanic. I work for a truck dealership, Gabrielli Truck Company.
Awesome. Good for you. It's tough. I think a lot of people don't realize in the fight game, when you're first starting out, you're an amateur and a young pro, you have to work another job in order to be able to support yourself. It's first of all, you're not taking fights every month, but the smaller promotions aren't paying the big bucks like the UFC and Bellator.
Yeah, exactly. And my last fight, like my job had no idea I was fighting. So I was like getting ready to make weight and starving myself, eating nothing basically, and going to work like normal, you know.
Most definitely, yeah, most definitely. And Bellator 208 just occurred on Long Island. Was there any thought process of I want to turn pro for that, or did that not really matter to you? Because a lot of guys made their debut on that card.
Yeah, a lot of Bronx guys too were there. That was pretty cool. Bellator is not really the goal. It's UFC. If we end up getting to Bellator, that would be great. But the goal is UFC. I'm hoping to go CFFC straight to the UFC.
Most definitely. And as a fighter, where do you see yourself? You have to work on the most to be an elite fighter on the professional level. What do you have to improve at? Yourself.
Myself, I like to say I have no weaknesses, but I would say strength and conditioning probably would be one of the things I would improve on.
That's definitely something I think no matter where you are, everyone could always keep working on strength and conditioning. That definitely fluctuates, I think, with camps and stuff, right? Now, you signed your fight. When is your fight, and how far out are you from it?
The fight's December 14th, so a little over a month away.
Awesome. And do you go right into camp, or are you going to give yourself some time and then jump into camp, or are you jumping right into camp and going?
I was actually training the day after my last fight, so I won the fight Saturday night. Sunday morning I was wrestling, 100%, like sparring, so nothing changes.
Right back, and that's the true definition of right back in the gym. I know a lot of people say that, and then you see them on Instagram, like eating all sorts of crazy food and then running around doing random things, vacations. But Sunday morning, right back in the gym. That's awesome. And what can fans expect from you in this fight in your MMA debut, your professional debut? Excuse me.
Oh, action. We definitely can expect action.
Awesome.
I'm gonna let it go. Probably more than I have in the amateur, because now this is where it counts. So.
Now, as a pro, though, do you guys bring in Jungle Gym? Do you bring in anyone from the outside to help you train for specific opponents, or do you guys just train with who you have there and believe in your teammates and just kind of work from there?
Everything I need at the gym. Like, we have great wrestlers, we have great jiu-jitsu guys, great strikers. I have everything I need at the gym. We don't need to bring in anybody.
Awesome. And, you fought at ACC, Aggressive Combat Championships, up in Westchester. What is it like when you have an atmosphere like that and a support system, when your Jungle Gym's rolling deep with a lot of fans, a lot of support, and then you got this fight coming up? How is that going to make your transition easier, being able to go from a promotion like ACC to CFFC?
I think it's actually going to be really easy. I don't think it's going to be much of a difference. ACC runs a great show, and there's always a big crowd, so I don't think there's going to be much of a difference, and our guys come to support all the time, so it's same thing. Different place, but same thing.
Awesome. And, so tell us a little bit about some of your short-term goals, long-term goals within the sport.
Well, I'd like to be in the UFC within a year and a half, so I'm not planning on spending too long at CFFC, so that's why I want to make a statement pretty fast and get to the UFC as soon as possible.
I know
I'm one of these young guys. I'm 28 years old, going to be 29 next month, so got to get this ball rolling.
Now, I know a guy like Jared Gordon. He's a guy from the area, and he went from CFFC champion to now fighting in the UFC. He'll be fighting on the Milwaukee card, I believe the 15th, that same weekend. Do you want to be an active fighter? Do you want to fight as much as you can within 2019, or like what are your goals for that?
Definitely, yeah. If I win this fight, it pretty doesn't matter how I win, but as soon as I win, I want to get back in there as soon as possible. Because in the amateurs, I was getting fights maybe once a year. My last fight and this fight was 8 months apart.
Mm-hmm.
Still a pretty long time to sit out. So yeah, I like to jump back in there as soon as possible. And I think in the pros there's going to be a lot more of opponents to pick from. So I think I have more opportunity of getting fights, a lot faster.
I agree with you talking about more opponents. I really believe a lot of people dodged you at 135. You are a talented guy. I think definitely one of the top two in the area at 135, if not the top. Now you're at the professional level. There's no dodging you now. It's either you take the fight or go home. So I agree with you. There will be more opportunities. Do you have like a number on your hand? Like you want to fight once every 3 months, or you gonna just try to every show get in there?
Yeah, definitely. I would like to fight. Like I said, I'll fight every month. To me, it really doesn't matter. Like once I win, I want to get back in there as soon as possible. It doesn't really matter what's hurting. It's about getting the reps in. So
Yeah.
I like to fight as soon as possible.
And then you always have the Dana White Contender Series on Tuesday nights. He's always bringing people up to do that. Do you think you have to be flashy or finish people in any specific way in order to get like opportunities like that or a shot to the UFC?
Definitely. I don't think you have to be flashy, but I think you definitely have to go for the finish.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you go for the finish, exciting fights are going to happen, but always trying to finish the opponent, I think, is the goal, and I think that's what they want to see. And that's what I'm bringing to the pros, going for finishes every second of the fight.
Yeah, definitely. I think being dominant on the lower levels makes you, like, I guess you could call it like the minor leagues, kind of helps you when you get to the pros because, they know what they're getting when they get that. But, coming up, you got CFFC coming up. Are you looking ahead for another fight? Like, do you plan on fighting on your CFFC? Is it a multiple fight contract, one fight, or you going to look at another?
So it's a one fight contract.
Oh, okay.
But I'm sure after this fight they're gonna want me back.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to seeing you get back in there. But before I let you get going, tell us a little bit something about yourself that nobody knows, but you'd like to share with everyone.
I'm a huge animal lover.
Okay.
Dogs, cats, like huge animal lover.
Do you have pets? What kind of pets do you have?
I have 2 dogs. I got 2 dogs. Let them come out. Come here. I'll introduce you right now. This is my boy.
Awesome. What's his name?
That's my girl. They're pain in the butts, but put them away for the interview.
Totally get that. What are your dogs' names?
Hennessy and Blue.
Hennessy and Blue?
Hennessy and Blue, yeah.
Awesome. I like the names. Nice. Cool. Well, animals are always the greatest. They're always great company. Definitely man's best friend. Do you bring them at all to the gym with you and let them hang out, or is that something you guys don't do?
Nah, not at all. Maybe when I have my own gym one day, I'll hang out. But right now, no, they never step foot in the gym.
Now, that's a good question. I'm glad you brought that up because I want to ask that is, do you ever think about what you want to do with your career after you're done fighting? Is that ever like thought come into your mind, or is that something you're not really worrying about right now?
No, I think about it a lot actually. After I'm done fighting, I would like to help the next generation. I want to see the younger guys come up. Like one of my favorite parts about being in the gym is watching the new guys come in and get better and seeing their progress. So
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to have my own fight team one day and be able to do what my coach has done for me for a bunch of other guys.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I think it's awesome. I always say MMA is one of those unique sports where almost everyone that's competed kind of turns into a coach or a mentor and helps out the younger generation, which is pretty sweet. And, tell us a little bit about your background, though, in MMA. Your striking, how you got into, is that just developed through working in the gym? Your jiu-jitsu, what color belt are you?
I'm a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. And, I had no experience coming into the gym. I actually didn't even want to fight.
Oh, wow.
To the gym. I actually just wanted a six-pack. So went into the gym and met a few guys. I met Master Chim, and the first guy I think I started helping get ready for his fight was Leo Munoz.
Okay.
Actually a pro too. And I don't know. The seed just planted in my head, and I was like, I think I could do this. Went to a few events, and I was like, hey, I think I could do this. And then one day at a promotions, my coach had a speech. It's something we do all the time in promotions, and he said if you're healthy and you're not fighting, we all know why, and basically meaning you're scared. So I was like, this guy's right. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a shot. I'm healthy. I'm athletic. I'm in shape. So I was like, you know what? Let me give this a shot. Had to talk with my girlfriend and let her know I was gonna try it. She supported me, and it's the rest is history, man. It's just one after another, and you get hooked. Just the challenge of it. Like, I had no easy fights. Like, every fight was difficult, and every fight I trained my hardest for. So I just enjoy the process, enjoy the challenge.
Do you think that's really going to be crucial for you on the professional level, that you took no easy fight? You fought tough guys throughout your entire 9-fight career as an amateur. Now you're a pro. I feel like a lot of guys, they take the easy route. They bounce around, kind of handpick who they want to fight, who they think's the easy win, and then they get to pros and they're getting knocked out and dropped and tackled, and they're like, what the hell's going on? Well, you didn't fight anyone.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I don't turn down any fights. No weight class, no opponent that I'll turn down. Like, I was offered fights at 45, I was offered fights at 55, and I said yes to every single one of them. So I would never turn down a fight, especially, my coach comes to me, hey, we fighting this guy. There's no question. We're going.
Awesome. Dan, I'm excited to see you get in the cage and fight. You're expecting fireworks. I know the fans should be too. I definitely think you're one of the top prospects, especially in the CFFC. They're going to know who your name is real quick. Any last words, any sponsors, anyone you want to recognize?
Definitely, yeah. I would like to thank all my teammates, Paul Grant, Leo Munoz, Josh Richards, Victor Landetta, Anthony Sepavita, and just shitload of guys on top of off the top of my head. Those guys, especially, Paul Grant, he helps me out every day, holding pads, wrestling, drilling, just pretty much anything I need, he's there for me. So, and Oswald Perez, Bat Boy. Like I said, I know I'm probably Edwin Chichi Solis. I'm still probably forgetting a few, but Sina Acevedo, these guys, those are my brothers right there. So.
Awesome. Well, hey, congratulations to you on a fantastic amateur career. Now the journey just begins. Signing with CFFC. Congratulations for that. Best of luck, and I'm looking forward to seeing you fight at CFFC.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you. This is Carroll's Corner MMA Podcast with Dan Rodriguez, and we're out.
Good night.